Welcome on the show. And how is everyone going today? I'm radiating and smiling all over because voila, Miss Greatness is here.
I
Too happy. She's only barely just walked through the store. So I have not seen her in ages. If you've seen her,
It's what 4 weeks.
that's a long time.
Yeah, it is.
So tell us, what's been happening?
What's been happening? I am working in a smaller town. Of course, you know that, and I think it's quite. The air is much fresher there.
Excuse me.
Honestly speaking, I go to, for instance, the park,
Mhm.
and there's no kids, making noise around me, and sometimes I can be the only person sitting in the park.
You talking
How
like
nice is
Aussie
that?
really now
Oh,
because
nah.
some Aussies they're like, oh, we used to be little and I like the way we were, but now too many people in my suburb, and so I need to go back to Little River or something.
Yeah, it's really nice there.
Oh,
Honestly, it's a bit hot though.
okay.
Yeah. Um,
It's been pouring and snowing here, hailing even. So
we've had so much rain as well. I mean, I haven't seen so much water in my life. That's just, lying on the ground. Like you drive and the road is literally, side by side with the water.
mm,
And the water goes as far as the eye can see. So I have no clue of which one is the river
eh?
and which one is just the water that's just waiting to, um,
Oh,
you
that's
know.
very risky.
It's true. It's really true.
That's
That's how
very
much water
risky.
is there.
Wow.
So that's
That's
an experience,
that's like a
really.
riverine area.
Yeah.
Wow. But you're enjoying the old people there?
Yeah.
Do
The
you have a
old
lot of
people.
younger people there?
We've got a few schools. I think the area where I live has got two schools with one primary.
That's cute.
And then, the region has got quite a number of schools. So the program that I'm facilitating is around the schools.
Mhm.
So I'll be going a lot more into, the region and not necessarily only where I am.
So good.
So yeah, that also caters for, my adventurous passion as well. So
Wow.
I'm happy to be
Well,
going around.
too good. Go there and shine, baby. Just keep shining. And that's wonderful. There you go. Heidi is in Bali.
Oh,
Yeah, and
really?
she's just sent me a text message and said Bali is cool. I'm like, hello. Yeah, she's
Nice.
living a life. She's living a life. She's in Bali. So hope to see you very, very shortly. But today we got a lot to do, a lot to talk about, a lot to chat about. Domestic violence is a thing. People are still very ignorant about it. Um, a lot of us don't know what it is and we need to know. So like I said last week, I'm doing the course that is a train the trainer. When we finish, we'll be able to train other people that are going to be training. At the end of the day, it will be language that everyone understands. We all know about it. There's no, I'm sorry, I don't know, I only just came through the boat yesterday. You will know because it will be language of the day everywhere you go. So I'm really really happy and about this. Really, I'm very passionate about life, living life large and living it full. If you have to be in a relationship, you need to enjoy. If you are not enjoying the relationship, what's the point? You're dying, and also, especially if children are involved in it, it's just not right. But the icing of the on the cake is that we've got our president. People call her Madam President. I call her Firebrand. The president of Nigerian Society of Victoria, the first and the only female we've ever had, is coming on the show today. A friend of mine, and I can't wait to bring this woman on. She's got a lot to her, but people don't know. So today, you're gonna know, you're gonna be blown away. So make sure you're fully secured because you're gonna be surprised who we've got in the person of Dr. Remi Yusuf. We go on a quick break and we'll be right back.
Good.
Hello, everyone. Help me to welcome my president on the show. Hello, Dr. Remi.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me on. I'm so blessed and privileged to be here. Thanks, ladies, for inviting me.
Anytime. Now, I don't know what's moving, but something is blocking the view, and we are not.
Okay.
Yes, now we can see you. I think we can
You can
see
see
you.
me now?
Yes,
Okay.
we can. It's very hard to
Oh,
see, to get you, really.
okay. I'll move it
Okay,
around.
that's good. That's
That's
better.
Is it better that way? Okay.
That's far better. Good to see you, Madam President.
Oh, good to see you, my friend.
We've been trying to bring you, I think it's been almost a year now into your tenure in the office, and you're like, I'm doing my PhD. When I finish my doctorate, I'll come. So thank God you finished. Now we can fully call you Dr. Remi Yusuf.
Yes.
Welcome on the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Fantastic. You are our president, and you're finishing. Please tell us a little bit anyway before we go to the presidency, because there's more to you than just
Mm.
presidency. I know you hail from Nigeria, and please tell us the journey. You were in South Africa. I don't know if you went to South Africa first or Canada first, but you're everywhere as far as I'm concerned. You were.
Um, okay. Thank you for having me. For me, anyway, I go by both names as you have rightly introduced me. Some people call me Toyin, some people call me Remy, and it depends on who you are to me.
Okay.
And most people in Australia call me Remy, but in other places where I've lived, I'm known as Toyin. And
What
I'll
is your
tell you,
husband's name, Tony, as well?
yeah, that's why here, okay, there's a joke around at
Right.
the time. If someone calls the home and says, "Can I speak to Tony?" The
Yeah.
kids will say, "My dad or my mom." And
Wow.
people who don't really know us very well will
Yeah.
get confused.
Yeah.
And when we came to Australia, they cancelled my driver's license because
Ah.
the first names are the same. They
Oh.
didn't bother to look at the because we have same first name and then the same address. They didn't
Right.
bother to look at the middle name and the date of birth. So they
Wow.
thought they had issued two driver's licenses to the same person. So
Wow.
so I officially, through the Department of Justice, had to reverse my name because Tony is my first name, Remy is my middle name. So
Right.
I had to reverse my
Yeah.
name
Right.
so that I can be known as Oluremi Oluwatoyin Yusuf. So that's
Wow.
the genesis of the name, yeah,
That's a
of the
good
name
one.
change.
Oh my gosh. That's
Mm,
such a cool one, really.
mm.
Unbelievable. And so you
Yes.
guys left for South Africa, didn't you? Please tell us your journey.
Oh yes. When apartheid was over in South Africa, the then president Nelson Mandela invited, people of African heritage or Africans, so to say, especially Nigerians, to come to South Africa so that, the because at the time, not too many Black people are in, professional places. I'm not saying
Okay.
there aren't any, but not too many.
Right.
So, yeah, so we went to South Africa from Nigeria at the time. Then we lived in South Africa for 9, 10 years. Then we went to Canada. Um, at the time, there was a lot of xenophobia, and
Mm.
people started leaving anyway. And we left. We went to Canada, and from Canada we came to Australia, and
So
here
you
we
had
are.
one child in South Africa, did you? You had a child in South Africa and one in Canada, or what was it?
Okay, I have a United Nations at my home. Uh,
Yeah.
my first child was born in Nigeria. We left when he was a year plus.
Yeah.
And my second child was born in South Africa. My third one was born in Canada. So
Ah.
yeah, so we we have a reunite. So during the next World Cup now, we support different countries because of whatever. So
Every nation picks
every
up.
nation, yes, yes.
Anyway, and you are going for the United Nations, whatever you're going for the Olympic, or what are you going for shortly? Anyway,
Oh, it's the soccer, FIFA Soccer World Cup.
World Cup, you're good because I somebody to I eavesdrop that anyway. Well
Yeah.
done. What a journey. Now coming to Australia, Liz want to ask Australian bit.
Yeah, sure. Tell us more. Now that you are in Australia, how has
Mm.
your journey been so far? Highlights of your achievements. You can also share from your lowlights as well, so that we can learn from that experience how you have got yourself up and got going in terms of the achievements.
And my own
Um,
question was, were you a nurse at some stage because everybody was a nurse coming here?
no, I wasn't a nurse. I was a teacher. I
Ah,
was yes, I was a teacher before I left. I'm still a teacher. I still teach,
wow.
but not full time.
Right.
I left Nigeria with a teaching degree, and when I got to South Africa, I did my master's in education, and then I continued teaching, lecturing per se.
Right.
Then Canada. When I came to Australia, I was teaching as well. I started teaching, but unfortunately, I wouldn't get a permanent job because it was incomprehensible for an African to be teaching an Australian child English language. And a lot of the parents didn't really go well with that. And
What?
for, fortunately for me, I had, because I did languages anyway, so I could teach um, French, English, and my native language, Yoruba. So when I came, most of the time I teach French and English, and I came to Australia. I was employed as an English and French teacher. Fortunately, and because I did media as well, um, in my master's, I combined English literacy and media in my master's degree. So I was fortunate to, plus education. So I was fortunate to get a job as a sessional lecturer at Monash University. And at the time, because I might have a 6 months contract, and then the next 6 months, I will be scrambling for jobs and I will be doing casual teaching. And I wanted that stability in my life. So I retrained. I thought for some time, actually, I think coming to Australia, I thought we came to Australia in 2005. So I changed my career in 2008, January, anyway. So because I wasn't getting a full-time job, and it's either I get 3 days contract or I get a sessional job, and it was just not what I wanted. And plus, back then I was still young, so I still had the zeal to be able um, to continue and empower myself. So I retrained. I did psychology and counseling, and since then I've been a counselor.
I can't believe it. At what
Well,
age?
yes, it does work.
Mm,
I think, as we grow up, really, we realize the direction that we need to take, or
mm,
that we want to take, either due to circumstances or even because of our interest, the interest that changes, or probably even stepping into purpose, and therefore we reinvent ourselves.
Mm.
It's a very good story that you are sharing. Just to let the people know that who and what you are today does not mean that's the person you're gonna end up 25 years down the line.
Mm.
That's
mm,
this. definitely an
So
aspect of reinventing yourself, to be able to be relevant at that point in time. You either retrain or you retool, or you
Upskill.
yeah, you do a number of
Wow.
things just to bring yourself back in line. And that's a very
mm,
good stuff that you're sharing there.
yeah, thank you. I often encourage the younger people that age is not a barrier to anything. You just
Mm.
have to have it in you and be passionate about what you're doing at any time and aspire to be who you want to be. So that's um, that's how I often encourage people, even my children. And I always like to be a good role model to people, and
And
I
you are.
often don't. Thank you. I often don't let anything stand in my way. For instance, my PhD. When I changed career, because I started my PhD in South Africa
Yeah,
years ago.
we know that.
So, yes, yes. Um, when we moved to Canada, because uh, I was, we were settling, then I got pregnant and had babies, no one to help. Unlike South Africa, where we could have a living maid to help out, there was none of that. So I had to stop. And I came to Australia. I I didn't start immediately because I wanted to get a job and find my bearing and stuff like that. So by the time I got the job and I wasn't having that full-time capacity that I wanted, I thought to myself, you know, I don't want to have a PhD for nothing. I want to be relevant. So I stopped my PhD totally to retrain as, to do my, um, I, I have two master's degree actually, to do uh, my psychology, then to do my master's, then to now start afresh with my PhD. I changed, I was doing my PhD in education at the time, so I
Right.
changed totally, yeah, from
Wow.
education. I still teach, so yeah, but yeah, my friend knows that I still teach.
Still
But
lecture. I
uh,
can't believe you, because when I really wanted to do psychology, I really wanted, and then they told me you have to do the first degree. I said, I've done my master's. They said, your master is not relevant if you want to do this. I have to do first degree again. I have to do masters again. I'm like, what? And that's what you've done. Oh my gosh. Amazing. Well done, my friend. And talk about your
thank
children.
you.
We go on a quick break and we will be back. Just wait, we're still talking to Dr. Remi Yusuf. We'll be back. Well, welcome back. We're still talking to Dr. Remi Yusuf. And of course, you've heard a little bit about our background, and that just makes a lot of sense to talk about our topic today, which is domestic violence. But before we go there, I cannot believe at God knows at what age you went to do degree again after the first
At
master's, and
40 years, at 40.
oh my word. Okay, this is someone that has got masters before. You know, I don't know these people. Some of you, God is just giving that brain to study. And I mean, Nigerian people are too intelligent. It's crazy. And you did this very flawlessly as a mother and as a wife. Your husband is a medical doctor, which means a lot of my friends with husband of medical doctors, they don't work because they manage this man, but you are managing your man, and we know totally managing the home, and you still finish your PhD. Kudos, truly. I salute
Thank you.
you, my friend.
Thank
One
you.
of the things I want to say about the platform that we created in Hanging Out with Temi is even your friends, sometimes they're your close, you drink coffee together, but we don't get to know the details of things very well because there's no reason for us to be asking. So when you get there, so you know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
this platform create that opportunity to be able to know your friend really dearly, so you can, I'm amazed. I'm amazed. And now you replicated doctors. I mean, like, you got your daughter who is now a doctor.
Thank you.
And your son also doing, working with Department of, I think, Human Justice, or still helping the community with the Commonwealth, and just got married.
Yeah.
Talk to us. How do you feel to be
Um,
a
um, I'm a proud mom. That's what I can say. My son is
oh,
a social worker, and
social worker?
he's gone through the ranks, and he's doing well for himself, which makes me proud. A very very proud mother, and he got married this year to his beautiful bride. I'm always very proud of them, and I love them dearly. Um, he works for, he works, he calls himself a civil servant anyway. He is, because he moves from,
Who
he
works
moves
for
from
the government?
department. Yes, he works for the government. So,
Right.
which, yeah, yeah, he's doing well for himself. My daughter is a junior doctor at the um, Royal Children's Hospital. She wants to be a
Oh,
pediatrician. So, and God has been so good to me and my family. So then my little son, he's not little, he's 19, but he's still my baby.
that's
um,
right.
yeah, he's doing his first year of uni at Deakin. He's studying business and arts, double degree. So
Business,
yeah,
that one
so
likes on you. Business
oh, he
and
does, he does.
it's so
He
good.
said from the beginning, he said, I don't want to work hard as you and dad. I want to make money, so I'm going to work for myself.
That's so good. That's so good. I mean, last year you were still driving this guy to this your little son to go to games, to go to, every time I'm calling you, I'm driving to me, I'm driving to me, I'm doing. So now does
Yeah,
he drive right now? You don't need to
yeah.
drop him every.
I don't need to drop him anywhere. He said, "Mom, Dad, can you please buy me a car so that Mom can have a break?"
Oh, so sweet.
Yeah,
So sweet.
yeah.
Amazing. You've done really, really well for yourself. We can't be prouder to have you as our
Thank you.
president, of the Nigerian Society of Victoria, the first and the only woman for that matter. Thank you so,
Yeah.
so very much. Now
I
we're
can't
gonna
take
go.
that glory alone, my friend. You know the genesis,
I do,
and
but you're the one that is taking the brunt of it. You're taking the heat of it. I mean, when Remi became the president, people were like, "We don't even know." You're a very private person, very quiet person, but you are a fiery person. You are a no nonsense person, and no one knows until you became the president. They're like, "We thought this woman is quiet. She's really not quiet." How has that journey been for you?
um, it's been a privilege. I have a mantra that I use for myself. You have to be firm and be fair,
Uh-huh.
and that's that's my policy.
Right.
It's been first I have to say that I'm very grateful to the people that nominated me for the position. And
Mhm.
as you rightly said, my friend, I'm a very private person. No one, if you don't tell me your business, I don't want to know. And I don't hear other people's business from other people.
Right.
Uh, because I consider that as gossip. If you want me to know your business, you tell me yourself, and I can discuss it with you.
Mm.
So when I was approached, I I gave it a really good thought, and I thought to myself, for your community, people in your community, to deem it fit that you do well on it, you know, I consider that, it meant a lot to me, so I couldn't say no. even though I was busy, and I thought to myself, I'll give it my shot. If I'm not managing, I'll resign because
Right.
I know my capacity. I know when I'm coping. I know when I'm not coping.
Yeah.
And to God be the glory. I surrounded myself with very good people. Other than the people in the executive, I have other people within the community that I reach out to, that even a phone call, whatever I need, whatever support, they're always there. I can't thank them enough because a tree does not make a forest. I cannot succeed by myself without this backbone. That's what I call them, my
Mhm.
backbones that are there to
Right.
support me. Yeah. And the people that said, oh, we don't know her, I consider maybe in the past, but if
Yeah.
anyone is still saying at this time that
Right.
they don't know me, I will consider that as an inverted perception of me that they have, because I'm accessible to anybody. And my phone is out there, my email is out there, and you can only get to know anyone if you want to know them. You get closer to them. A phone call, whatever question anyone wants to know about me, I don't think anyone can honestly say that they called Madam President, she didn't respond to them. If I miss anybody's call, I make it a point of duty to call them back. So no one can say that I'm not accessible to them.
Oh, I wanted to ask, I don't have a concept of how long the tenure is for your
Mm.
presidency, but should the people want you to stand again, would you do so, or is this coming to an end?
I was
Ah,
I was actually going to ask about um what toll what investment do you think you've done? Because people say when you're working for the community, people don't appreciate their effort and the amount of resources, your personal money, your energy, and your time.
Mm.
People don't really know that how
mm.
much you do. It's like they're paying you to do the job. So I'm thinking how much effort. People say, oh, it's only a little bit of, you know, it's not that hard before.
People, I think people who say that, they're very naive, and possibly they haven't been, you've been in a position of responsibility yourself, so you understand these things. And people who have been there, I'm sure they understand that it involves a lot of personal sacrifice, physically, financially, all your resources you put into it, even your family time. So it's a lot of sacrifice. If you really want to do it to the best of your ability and really serve your community and make a difference, it's a lot of sacrifice, which I'm privileged that I was in a position to be able to input that. And like I said before, with I can't take the glory alone, with the people that I surround myself with the credible and incredible people that I surround myself with.
All right, we go on a
Bless
quick
you.
break.
Mm.
Let's see that.
Thank you.
Let's go on a quick break and we'll be back. Welcome back on the show. We're still with Madam President, and we're talking about the people that says they don't know her or she's not doing as such in the community and all that. But I know that you're part of the CONAPA, which is talk to us about CONAPA. Are you? Um,
Yeah, CONAPA was started during the when we had the transition committee.
okay.
When my administration came in, we migrated into that, and it's now, you know, a well incorporated organization. CONAPA means Council of Australian Presidents of Nigerian Presidents in Australia. And
Yeah.
the reason for that was because we wanted to have one voice to be able to represent our people on common issues. Like right now, there was something that happened in Queensland about using a derogatory language for some people of color. We were able to, write a letter and send it to the
Ambassador?
Commissioner of Police, no, the Commissioner of Police in Queensland to address that. The issue of food seizure at the border post, we've
Mm-hmm.
brought it, to our meetings. So issues that are common, even issues that are not that are specific to each state, you can bring it there. The other people will input and advise, because we have so many people with different expertise on the board. And currently, I'm the secretary of CONAPA, so most of the letters I write them, and to the different people that we have issues that we want them to know. And CONAPA was inaugurated this year, and
Okay.
actually it would be satisfying to say that even the diaspora ministry in Nigeria recognized CONAPA as, or Australia actually, not just CONAPA, Australia as the only country that has a peak body that they speak with one voice. So whatever we take to them, they make it a high priority. For instance, the national identification number, the moment we spoke about it, they effected it, and we have me now, and so many other things like that. Even the issue of food seizure, we are still, we are still talking to the government, even though we know that it's a sensitive issue. And sometimes we advocate for people individuals within the Nigerian community in Australia, we advocate for them with the relevant authorities. So CONAPA is actually a very good and interesting body that represents the interest of Nigerians, not just people that are members of our associations,
Mm-hmm.
anybody who is a Nigerian. We try and represent them because this is what I believe. People would, people, the good you do will attract people to yourself or to your organization. So with NSV generally, we don't say that because you are not a paid member, a financial member of NSV, and you are in trouble, we shy away from helping you. We help other people because we believe you are going to go and talk about what we've done for you, and that will attract people to join the association. So we often, solicit for membership. It will be better and easier for us to track it if you are a member, or we'll be able to do more for you if you are a financial member. We are limited at what we can do for you if you are not a financial member, but we still do something. Yeah.
Well done. So, I mean, that's why I just said to say that because I see you everywhere. I see you in Brisbane. I see you in Perth. I see you in South Australia, going everywhere, doing great things. So when I hear people that say, this Ijoba is Ijoba Fidihe, that they're not doing anything, I'm like, God will forgive you because you really need to know the essence of what these people are doing and the gravity for you to appreciate them. So I'm glad that you are able to talk to us a little bit about the things that you do that people don't see, but we see. Some people that want to see, they see it anyway. But I
Thank
guess
you. Mm.
this got a
Yeah,
question.
tell people like that. Tell people like that to get involved
We send it to
because
them.
they are the people. It's true. They are the people that will sit back when we organize anything. They are the people that will not attend. When we ask people to express interest to join a committee, they will never express any interest. Or you even nominate them to join a committee, they will tell you they are too busy, but they are the ones that are quick to criticize rather than being involved. But it doesn't weary us. We'll continue to do the good work that we can do to the best of our ability.
Good on you. I hope I'm doing my job when you send me an errand.
Oh, very well, you did. And
Thank
you
you.
always do. You always deliver. Thank you.
With graciousness. Thank you.
Yeah, I would like to ask I think there's a question that Temi asked that you did not allude or respond to,
Okay.
which is regarding the difference that you've made. You've mentioned, in general, but is there something that you want to particularly pinpoint in terms of the difference that your team has made during this tenure? And
Yes.
also, what's the worst situation that you battled with
Ah,
during your
Ah,
tenure?
hey,
okay. To talk about the achievement, um, we had a few problems within the community in the past, and that was why we had to have a transition committee.
Okay.
So our major duty was to unite and bring back the association so that it can keep going, not to let the association die. The unfortunate thing was that we started during COVID, so most of the time we were in lockdown. But we made the best use of the times that we've got. We, most of the things we did actually was based on welfare because at the time of COVID, the welfare of the community was paramount in our hearts. We
Yeah,
wanted
yeah.
people, yeah, yeah. So we gave a lot of educational presentations around COVID, around what they can do. And we even did, for the first time in history of NSV, we did the food relief, which was a big thing. Well,
it's
to
a big
some
thing.
people, it might not be a big, they might not realize it, but for us to get it from all the other communities, it was a big thing. And we delivered to people, not just members, not just financial members, anyone, anyone that applied within the limit of, uh, actually,
It's
we stretched it until the money was exhausted. We gave it to everyone. So that was huge achievement for us. And even this Konapa thing that I mentioned, it was a big achievement for us because we worked tirelessly to make sure that it was inaugurated. And
Mm,
the national identity
it's a good
number, we worked tirelessly to make sure that it was brought to Australia because it wasn't, even though even now we are still working to make sure that we have representation of me in Melbourne, not people to be going to New South Wales to do it all the time. We are still, that's still work in progress. We're still doing that. So we are doing a lot of underground things. We formed you know, like community of leadership with
display.
the whole of Africans, like the African Day Australia, we've joined that, ECCV, the ethnic communities, the multicultural communities. We're always having representation in these areas so that we can continue to advocate for the interest of our community members. And yeah, we will continue to do that. And when people bring suggestions, because we don't know it all, when people bring suggestions, we listen and we deliberate on how we can implement it. Our passport intervention is always a great achievement. Even during COVID, we managed to do that, and we've done it twice now. We're in the second year, we do it once a year. So that's another achievement that was passed on to us that we continue to do. We pulled up, even in the face of COVID, we had our Independence Day celebration. We had a
Yeah,
Cultural Day celebration. We've had another Independence Day celebration. We've had our AGM, and
see,
all of our papers are in place. It's a public record. Anyone who is interested in seeing what we are doing, minutes, uh, financial records, and everything, it's transparent. You just need to ask for it. We put it on, via email to people. Maybe they read it, maybe they don't read it. We don't know, but we are doing it because we campaigned on transparency and inclusion, and we are striving to do that.
good job.
well done. Well done.
Thank you.
It already speaks for itself if you can articulate, your experience during your tenure and talk about your achievements. Really, it absolutely speaks for itself. So, congratulations on that note.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And considering the whole of your team, I think this is the first time that everyone on your team will be serving at this capacity. So there's really no proud experience in the Nigerian Society of Victoria, and you are doing really, really well. I think when you talk about inclusion, you're very cleverly doing that. You know how to go here and talk to this person and go there and talk to that person, and we appreciate it because according to our slogan, we're better together.
Of
So,
course, thank you.
Madam President, I think the validation of human being is not as when God commend you for what you do.
Mm,
Validation
mm,
of men is not as commendation of God. So I
yeah,
believe that you are uh, commendation of God is on you. It's already ticked that. Well done, good and
thank you.
seven. You're doing really well, and we really do appreciate you because it's not about the noise. About the noise, it's about get the work done and
Mm,
just get grounded on it, and that's what we see in all your executives as well doing an amazing job. So we salute you, Madam President. We're going to go on a
thank
quick
you.
break. We'll come back because Lisa asked the question that you have not answered. We'll go on a quick break and we'll be back.
All right.
Welcome back. We still got the president of Nigerian Society of Victoria, Doctor. She didn't put doctor there, but that's doctor. Me like hard job. Remi Yusuf on the show. I mean, this show really, we should just concentrate on you. And I think we're gonna bring you back because you're a doctor. You have the knowledge in the area. You're an expert in the area that is grossly and gruesomely affecting the community. So we need to bring you back because that's where I am at this time, and that's where our Liz is also operating now. She's been seconded to New South Wales for 6 months to work strictly on domestic violence. So there's no way we're going to do justice, but we really and we're enjoying what you're telling us, and we really want to know more about that. So we can't stop you. We can't stop. We can't cut it really. So I think we're going to have to bring you back, please. Of course, you're serving the community, so we're commanding. You bring you back. And Liz was asking a question before, which we really want to know.
Yeah, the very, very first one I started off with. If your tenure ends, are you?
In November, it's going to end in
Is
December. I beg your pardon. Isn't
In
it
oh my,
December, yeah.
December?
just
Yeah.
about 6 weeks left.
Right.
Yeah,
And
are you ending again? What are the plans?
Um, I'm still thinking about it, honestly, because it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot
yeah,
of hard work. Um, and I've enjoyed the support of the people around me. If I can continue to enjoy the support and the community wants me back, I
right.
might consider it. Um, yeah, I'll just leave it there.
who who is not going to want you back? And I think to what you're doing a lot of job and big jobs, and I think this time might not be able to. You can't finish it, so it's good to complete it and stabilize it. For example, the way they seize our food, you wrote us an email, the community, what you're doing about it, but you're still on it, so you can't just leave it and then we don't know who is going to come. And I think as of today, I don't know if a lot of people are ready for this job. It's a lot of job. Like you said, we've been there and we're still there with you, but it's a lot of work. You got to be grounded. You got to be very intelligent and smart. You're going to be selfless and deny yourself of your time and all that. So well, we want you, and I know a lot of people want you. So we're going to be writing you an email to deal with this later on. If the election, if you can, I mean, Donald Trump is even going. Imagine is going back. So that is the
Some people
imagine.
don't know where to stop. That's why.
I mean, yeah. I think he's passionate about his country and he really wants it to, to work. I don't know, it's
Mm,
just crazy. Never mind.
mm.
Thank you so very much for what you do. We appreciate you. We salute your family, your husband, and your children for allowing you to do so much. But let's go to today's
Thank you.
topic, and I'm gonna I should let Liz, because Liz is the one that is getting paid right now for domestic violence to work with them. So you do your job, Lizzie.
Yeah, on this show, as you probably know, we we educate, we raise awareness, and create recognition for some topics and whatever is happening in the community. So and as Temi rightly said, today we're talking about domestic violence, but then from the perspective of your studies and your experience, if you can lead us into the difference between domestic violence and family violence, so that we can help our audience to just understand the thin line between the two, and also just to focus in thoroughly as we continue on the show.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Liz. Um, Domestic is immediate uh, area of abode. So the violence that occurs within our area of abode, within our family, is domestic violence. They're used interchangeably anyway, depending on which country. But according to the the Australian standard, um, not our watch and no to violence and white ribbon and all of those.
Mhm.
Family violence is defined as violence that occurs within families. It doesn't necessarily have to be contained to the domestic place. I mean, the nuclear family, like husband, wife, children. But it goes to the larger community. For instance, even in our own culture, like Nigerian culture, the Indian culture, the Kuri Aboriginal cultures, we've got aunties and uncles and mother-in-laws and all of those. That
Mhm.
the abuse can happen between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. That's
Right.
family violence. The
Mm-hmm.
Right.
abuse can happen between maybe sister-in-law or whatever, brother and sister that are adults. That's family violence. So that is how we separate domestic violence and family violence as per Australia. But in the US, because
The
most
Jonas.
papers came most journals came from the states. They
Mm-hmm.
use domestic violence, possibly because they don't recognize the impact of the extended family or kinship like we do here in Australia. So we use mostly family violence rather than use domestic violence. But in that context, domestic violence means between man, the wife, or the partner and the children.
That's
Immediate nuclear family. Yeah.
right. That's so good. Wow, that's really good. And I think, in those days your mother-in-law can just slap you. So now
Yes.
they can't. If they do that, is violence. And I
That's violence. Yeah.
yeah. Did they say you have to be a repeated, like, first time they don't, um what do you they don't jail you or whatever, but the second time that you will be counted? Is that right? Because
It
I was
depends
hearing
on it depends on it depends
On
on the abuse. It depends
Yeah.
on the violence that's been perpetrated. Someone who have used, although violence is violence, we all know that. Even psychological violence could be more damaging than physical violence in some cases. So it depends on the gravity of the violence. You know, for someone who is choking the partner, and cause serious bodily harm to that person, obviously that the magnitude of that, according to law, is greater than someone who is verbally abusive.
It's true.
So
It's
even if it's done that for the first time, the big stick of the law will still catch up with that person.
true. Hmm.
And if you are verbally abusive and you've been warned once, the second time, it means these days it's not even a punitive measure anymore. It's about rehabilitation. So that's
Mm.
why there's so many uh, men behavioral change programs that are running. There are some that are running for women, but one thing I often argue with people is, when people would say that, oh, women too commit violence, I'll say, yes, women commit violence. Any human being can commit violence, but domestic and family violence is based on power and control. And
Right.
who controls most of the time?
Good one.
It's the
Yeah.
men, exactly. So who exercise power? Who wants to? Who has the big ego to say that you have to listen to me, or it's either my way or no way? It's the men. And I often use statistics to support it. When we have 95% of men, according to records, 95% of men perpetrating family violence or domestic violence, as opposed to the 5% of women that are perpetrating family violence. So, which one is greater and what is the magnitude? So, which
Exactly.
one should we concentrate on? Should we
That's.
neglect the 95 and focus on the 5%?
Mhm.
So that's always the argument. Even when I'm in groups and I'm talking to them, they'll say, oh, you're just biased because you're a feminist. Women do perpetrate violence. Yes, women do, but oftentimes, women that perpetrate violence, they've had it with the men and they are fighting back.
Yeah.
And that is what some of these, or people even in the society, that's what they don't understand. And they
Mhm.
refuse to really focus on.
Mhm.
And, because of that, they lose sight of what feminism is actually all about. They think feminism is, oh, you hate men because you're advocating for women. No, I often say to people, I don't hate men. If I hate men, I hate myself. I've
You
got
marry
two
one.
beautiful sons. Exactly.
Hmm.
I'm married to one. I've got two beautiful sons. So should I hate my own flesh and blood?
Hmm.
No. But I train my children to have respect for every human being,
Yeah.
regardless. I
Yes.
used to teach them when they were younger, when, as a big brother would tell the sister to do something. I said, so if you do that to your sister, what would you do to somebody else's sister
Daughter.
or daughter?
Mm.
Or sometimes I'll say, if your partner was your daughter, would you be happy for a man to treat them like that? That's what we're talking about.
That's
Hmm.
right. That's right. I mean, 1 in 4 women die from domestic violence in Australia every week. One
Every
in
week.
four every week. I didn't
Mm.
even know it was that bad. And 1 in 16 men or 60 men, look at the gap. So
And
you're very
even
right.
most violence that's perpetrated against men are from another man.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Most of the time,
Wow.
90% of the time.
Wow. Wow.
But people will only say, oh, but there's violence perpetrated against men. Yes, but how many of those are domestic violence? All of those, I've got I've got people in my groups that would say, oh, uh, they perpetrated against another man, not even their domestic place.
Mhm.
But they will still want to justify the fact that men are being targeted or men are being laid out. When one woman every week is killed,
Yeah.
do you want the women to be targeted? Is it not the perpetrators that will be targeted and rehabilitated?
Mhm.
That's the start of equality. Once you realize that every human being are equal, you treat every human being the way you want to be treated. Also, some people, they have no value for themselves anyway. Even
Right.
if you have no value for yourself, for God's sake, have value for someone else.
Mhm.
Treat people well. That is equality. That's what feminism is all about. It's not
Right.
about hating men, it's about equality, it's about respect, it's about showing integrity, it's about inclusion. That's what feminism is all about, and that's what we're advocating for. And that's what we should be teaching our young men, our children that are men, boys, right from the beginning, to
Mhm.
learn to respect everybody.
Yeah.
Respect your mother, respect your sister, respect your, whatever, everybody.
Thank you so much. I think really what I will like you to come back to talk to us is how do we start to teach? I mean, when what the program I'm doing right now, when it's finished by the 1st of December, the plan is I have to create a group. By all means, I have to create a group, and there will be resources and all that to support the group to teach what the um, what is expected of you, every human being, and what is domestic violence, what is family violence. We know now that family is extended. Even somebody that you know that is a family friend now is deemed as family. It's inclusive in the family uh, violence. Just family friend, but you've known them for as a length of time, then it's part of your family. You hurt them,
Mm.
you will be jailed for doing, you will be
Yes.
charged as such. So
Mm.
I really want to bring you back to come and talk to us. How do we start to create this awareness that it will become a household discussion that people will know between intimate partners, between children and family and friends, extended family. How do we get when Western world for cry out loud? We need to know better and we need to do better. And also,
Mm.
I'm considering people that are new migrants. They just came, they don't know the rule of the law, and they think if the wife tells them, they think you're telling me because I'm in Australia. No, it's because it's lower. So do we start teaching people that are new to the country what it means? To what does it mean to be violating people? Do we have to? So we will bring you back really, because for the next how many weeks now you said?
I think it ends in the 16 days of activism.
Mhm.
Will
Yeah.
now on Friday, and
On
it goes,
Friday. Yeah.
yeah, and it goes on until I think 16th of December.
Of
16th
So
of
December.
December. Yes.
yeah,
So
Mhm.
that's what we're going to be talking. Give us the language. What languages we're going to be using? How do we? They said the perpetrator thing is being changed now. We won't use perpetrator. We will say people in the violence or people
People
doing
who
bad.
use violence.
People who
We
use
call it
violence.
people who
Or
use violence. Yes. Yes.
instead of calling them perpetrator because they feel like you're labeling them and this isn't. So it's people who use violence. I have a case of a child threatening the mother and punched the wall and is in court for almost 1 year. This young boy is going to court every week to court. It's under 20 and he's
Mm.
going to court just because he did that. And so to just prevent that from happening, what do we start to use? How do we start to teach in-house
hmm
and in the community? So if you'll be able to do that for us, it would be really appreciated if we can get you back. And I hope that people vote you back in as our president because we enjoy your term. There's peace, there's stability, and there's
continuation.
that's swagger too. We love it. Thank you for coming, Madam President. We appreciate your time, and our time is far fetched. Miss
It's
Thank you
Greatness.
so much for
yeah.
having me, Liz and Temi. I really appreciate this, and it's a privilege to be on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. We look forward to see you again.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
To everyone that's been
Yes.
watching us, we're going to bring Mrs. Madam President Dr. Remi Yusuf back next time to talk to us about domestic violence, what it is, and where can you find, you might find yourself if you're exerting all this control and power over your peers, whoever within your sphere. We see you again next week, still on domestic violence.
Goodbye.
Thank you for watching. Goodbye. Thank you.